third round because I had said in passing that it's always cool to have somebody who sends me periodic table stories, which means I get to share my sciencey side by sharing stuff. So I'm going to share with you two periodic table poems from Down in the Dirt and then two from cc&d. One of them each is really short Twitterverse, but they're both not only in Finding Refuge, the brand new, most recent publication from Down in the Dirt magazine, but there's also this next one in the periodic table poetry. You heard me. Periodic table poetry. Have a good walk? Yeah, you can leave. You don't have to hear me. You get out of here. Sorry. Talking to people. Anyway, have a good walk. So this first poem I'm going to read is not only in the periodic table of poetry, but also in Down in the Dirt. And I'm going to share it with you because I'm excited. This is a poem that was titled Mercury. Loving astronomy, I've always looked for images from outer space. And my computer desktop background and screensaver image are NASA and Hubble telescope images. Near my desk I keep a poster of the planets, and I've tried to find miniature globes of all the planets in my living room. Saturn, Jupiter, 4 of its moons, Mars, our moon, too many globes of Earth, the weather patterns of Venus, and even a W map of the universe. But just after the Big Bang, I tried to get that, but the planets like Neptune, the farthest from our sun, and Mercury, the closest to our sun, speeding at over 1.5 times the speed of Earth's orbit, those globes are hard to find. Mercury's eccentric orbital speed changes throughout its fast orbit, and with the fitting fast-moving name of the Roman messenger god, they equated this planet with the Greek Hermes because it moves around the sky faster than any other planet. Mercury's astronomical symbol is also a stylized version of Hermes' cicadas. The symbol for the planet Mercury is even used to represent the actual element. You can't land anything on Mercury because of its hostile environment and the volatility of the liquid element, the only liquid element considered a mineral. People shy away from using mercury in thermometers any longer because the toxic mercury can leak. Historically, they tried to use mercury for mirrors. They use silver now. And ancient cultures used cosmetics containing the poisonous mercury that often disfigured women's faces. Oh, joy, the ways women hurt themselves to make themselves beautiful. You can still find mercury, you know, because it stays liquid in eyelash mascara. Putting a toxic element so close to your eyes, that sounds like a good idea. Then again, someone just told me that doctors used to give mercury antibiotic eye drops to babies just after birth to prevent eye infections from gonorrhea or chlamydia bacteria. The many ways we can use toxins to supposedly help us. We want to learn about the planet Mercury. We send unmanned ships through space to photograph Mercury as much as we can, remotely check the atmosphere levels, the temperature, the speed. We use mercury in our makeup. Mercury is used in dental amalgams. Mercury has also been used in traditional Chinese medicine. And we use mercury in the thermometers to regulate our temperatures. And we use it for high blood pressure devices. Because, well, we want to learn, and we want to do anything, to use anything for our own ends, no matter how toxic. I did this at a show once, and I had blonde hair in this thing. The show, I don't know even the name of the thing, but it's novel to have a picture of me as a blonde. I think this was in Evanston. I don't know what even the name of the thing was, and it was an interesting thing to do once when I was deciding that I was going to be writing periodic table elements, so every feature I did was all about periodic table stuff. But just to do one more that's a really tiny one, which always is, you know, and I'm actually going to read it from this image, because if they're tiny enough for the Twitterverse poems, because as I said, this is not only, the short one's not only in Down in the Dirt, but it's also in Twitterverse periodic table poetry. And this one has tons of images to go with them as well, which is what I'm going to share with you. Mercury's volcanic icy re-release. Ancient purities in glacial meltwater, now released after millennia with no industry. And pollution stuns us when annual samples studied massive masses of mercury. Mercury is from volcanoes, pollution, so stopping coal mining's not enough. Mercury in Earth's past can poison us too. I was actually set up with an image because I gotta try to make it so that everybody can see it. It's kind of tough to check out. There we go. I'm trying to angle it for people in the Zoom meeting and people on the live feed and people on the YouTube videos. An image for that, but it was also performed at a show which I don't have the images for when I was in Chicago a couple of years ago at Gallery Cabaret. And I just got word from their book, so I can't be able to do a show with them this year, which makes me sad. But just to do one more element for you guys for it, and I'm going to, of course, pull it from cc&d magazine from a timepiece. This is for the poem Xenon, which, you know, I've got images all over the place for Xenon for you guys. But I hope you enjoy it. This is Xenon. I don't care if you're no Xena warrior princess. I just can't stand those high-intensity headlights of yours at night. You may numb me from my pain if I breathe you in, but the only good your brightness may do is that your existence may add color and life to my plasma TV. But you know, if I love outer space, I should like the fact that you are the propellant for ion drives. Because if xenon is the ion, it can be shot out of a rocket in outer space, forcing the rocket to move faster and faster through this void of outer space. Then again, I'm not going to outer space, and there's no funding to get us humans in outer space right now anyway. So, I'm sorry. You may think you got some bright ideas, but when I'm driving at night, sometimes I think you should keep some of your ideas in check. I read this. I don't know if I have my Xenon photo in there for you guys, but I did read this for the Poetry Bomb, which was a thing where, and by the way, Lorna, this is you just pick some place to go read where there's nothing else going on. And some poets might pick places and read together. One year I went to the Lincoln Park Zoo, and I was just hanging out by stuff, reading this poem, Xenon, just getting video stills of being out in public at Lincoln Park Zoo, reading things for that one. But that's the key also if you're wanting to read something, you look for things in different locations if you're going to be going and doing things like the Poetry Bomb. But I'm also going to do this last little one here, this performance art one of the tour-length one, which is, as you can see, is not only in the current issue of cc&d Timepiece, but it's also in Kuypers Periodic Table Poetry. And it's called Xenon Discovers Dark Energy. So scientists created Xenon 1T, ultra-pure liquid xenon with photomultiplier tubes to detect electron recoil to be their most sensitive dark matter detector. But Xenon 1T spiked beyond general background noise, and now they wonder if they've actually detected dark energy instead. Short one. It's impossible to see the image that's in for it, and it just disappeared, of course. But let's get back to that page for you guys. I have to find the page for you guys, but it's just a thing that says Xenon. You get the idea. It's online. You can see in color a lot better as well. But I did actually go to Beach Poets a couple years ago, and it was the first of 2 features that I did there, sitting outside, and I was wearing an Illinois shirt. And and I was showing off the xenon on this screen. I was showing it off on this screen during my feature as well. So anywho, these were that round, and I don't know Zoom host John's timeline or what he's got set up for doing it, but it is yours, and then afterward you could tell us what your timeline is for setting things up if you are able to take it away, my darling.